I've been seeing all of these trending aesthetics on Pinterest and I want to know which style best fits me. Growing up, I never really had a style and I always experimented with different ones, but I never really found my own. So in this video, we're going to be testing all of the aesthetics from Y2K to preppy to cottagecore, and each one gets its own recipe and outfit. And by the end of the video, we're going to discover which aesthetic best fits me. To kick things off, we're going back to my favorite era with the Y2K aesthetics when life was really good. We had peak pop music, baby tees, Abercrombie, Hollister. iPads didn't exist yet, but we had TRL and the best snacks. So for my outfit today, I am channeling Lizzie McGuire, a little bit of a yellow card look, a little chaotic, fun, and super cute. But for our food, I found this video where they made something along the lines of a tang hulu and those lychee jellies in a cup that I used to have, but this is a fruit jelly stick? I don't know, but it looks good and I need to make it. So first off, we're gonna make our base, which I'm using coconut water because apparently they don't make lychee water. This is already sweet, so I'm gonna add a cup to my pot, and then we're gonna sprinkle a little over a tablespoon of gelatin. Give it a quick mix, and then we're gonna warm it up just until it starts to steam. And this is where things get really fun. We're gonna fill these little bubble holes with fruits. I've already cut up the fruits into bite-sized pieces like theirs. I'm gonna do a rainbow pattern, starting with dragon fruit, which doesn't really taste like anything. Strawberries. What I should have done was try to cut up some lychees, but these are the second best. Mandarin oranges, the ones from a can that's already super sweet and delicious. Mango for yellow. And for the green, it looks like they use cucumber, which is technically a fruit, but a very interesting choice because why not kiwi? My giant blueberry eyeballs. I'll go back in with more dragon fruit because that looks really cool on their bubble sticks. And I'm gonna experiment with a little bit of pomegranate. All that's left to do is pour in our jelly mixture. Oh no, some of the fruit's escaping. Hopefully this will be able to press it down. A nice little splash from the top tells us it's secure. And all I have to do is pop it in the fridge for a few hours to let them set. And bubble pop electric. They look so cool. It's almost as if the strawberry is like magnified, but they're definitely bouncy. They almost look like those marbles. But now I have to skewer them to look like tang hulus. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. I wonder if it'll bounce. So fun! And I need to try that cucumber jelly because who would even think to put cucumber in jelly? It just seems weird. Get some other fruits in there. And our blueberry truly does look like an eyeball. And I've got my fruit jelly tang hulu. Let's see if they're as fun to eat as they look. That blueberry was so sour, but the combination of the jelly and the blueberry together kind of throws me off. Let's see how the crunchy cucumber does. I can confirm the cucumber jelly is weird. And I would not have eaten it even in the 2000s, but I bet this mandarin orange one is gonna be so good. That was the best one. It was juicy, it was sweet, almost kind of like that lychee one I used to love. But am I truly a Y2K girly? But these jelly tang hulus, they get 6, 7. Bruh. I have 5 more aesthetics to test, so watch them all and comment below and tell me which aesthetic you are. And now we're moving on to the cottagecore aesthetic. Let's take a stroll to the countryside where we're gonna be making everything from scratch. This aesthetic is very idealistic, where you're in the countryside growing your own vegetables, baking bread just because it's a random Tuesday, and you're wearing very flowy, soft dresses in cozy cardigans. Kind of reminds me of the Taylor Swift folklore Evermore era. And so this is the look that I'm going with. A very cozy cardigan, a very prairie cottage-esque dress. But for the food, I found these beet flour raviolis that look completely insane. Everything is made by hand, from the details of the flour to the ravioli itself. I don't know, I've never done this before, but it looks fun and hard, so we're gonna tackle it. Okay, so I already have some steamed beets, and now I just have to puree it real quick. And since beets tend to stain my hands, I'm gonna put on some gloves. Just gonna peel it off real quick. Look at how beautiful it is inside. This is gonna make our raviolis so bright and vibrant. Let me add a splash of water in here, and we're just gonna puree it until it's nice and smooth. Perfect. This creator starts with the dough already made, but somehow I need to get there first. So we're gonna start with some flour, and I'm gonna dump it out into a mound. Let me add a little well inside. I feel like I need to take off this cardigan. Sorry, Taylor. Okay, now we're gonna add an egg, some salt, and then I'm gonna in my beet puree. So I'm just gonna do 2 scoops. Now let's take a fork and mix it up. The thing about Pinterest is that there's no directions. Somebody said, where's the recipe? At least there's one comment. Oh my gosh, and the color's already looking so good. Time to go in with my hands. Feels very mushy. The dough is starting to stiffen up and it feels a little dry. I'm tempted to add more beets. That's probably a bad idea. Let me add some water. Going rogue. Let me just keep kneading this for 5 minutes. Okay, I think we're pretty much there. It's a smooth little pink dough baby. Now I'm gonna wrap it up in plastic wrap and we're gonna chill it for 30 minutes. Okay, our beet dough is done. It kind of mellowed out in color and the dough feels quite relaxed. So now I'm going to cut it into a smaller piece and I'm gonna attempt to put it through the pasta roller. And we're gonna do several passes from thick to thin. Let's flour it. Here we go. Is it going through? And here's our first pass. Not bad, not great. Okay, we clamped it down to the cutting board so it wouldn't keep moving. So now I'm gonna do the next pass. Oh, this one is so much easier. This is so fun. Except I might need 3 hands for this. Okay, final pass. It's like so curly. Oh shoot, it's like sticking. No. Oh, I should have floured it. Oh no. Do we have to start this whole process again? It's a good thing I have 2 discs left. Okay, I'm gonna try to flour it again. Okay, flouring it makes it so much easier. Okay. Let me do 1 more flattening. We're not gonna make it too crazy this time. And I think we're doing it! Yes! Oh my gosh, I was so nervous for a minute. Woohoo! We have our sheet of ravioli. But now the question is, how do I get the flowers on there? I made these 2 extra doughs while you guys weren't looking. And let me roll them out a little thinner. And I think I'm just gonna hand press them onto the beet ravioli. Okay, now we finally got to where we need to be. So he stamped some flowers from the white dough. And then we're gonna take a little bit of the yellow dough and then press it in for the center of the petal. Oh, that is so cute. And she's done, but she's not sticking. So I might ruin this, but I want it to stick. So I'm gonna go over everything with the rolling pin just to make sure it sticks. Okay, that didn't do any damage. Okay, good. Yay! I am so happy with this. It's so cute. But now the challenge is to get this on top of this. Let me cut this in half. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this, but basically I have to flip this top sheet onto here. And now I stamp it with this guy so that we can add the filling. Don't stretch too much. And then I'm gonna add my ricotta filling, which was just ricotta, shredded Parmesan and mozzarella, and egg yolk, salt, pepper, and some basil. We did it. Last step. Let's put this right on top. Then I go over it with a rolling pin and hopefully that should seal everything up. Oh, wow. Okay, doing this helps the metal cut through. Okay, and when I flip this over, we should hopefully have the most beautiful raviolis I've ever seen. Oh my goodness. And there we have our beet flour ravioli. Pinterest may be aesthetic and beautiful, and cottagecore may put a lot of time and effort, but you know what you need? Is lots of patience, which I don't know if I have in this day and age, but hey, I'm pretty proud of my work. And it looks pretty amazing. So I think I'm gonna call it quits with cottagecore for now, but these beets ravioli, just from the aesthetics alone, get 10 out of 10. And now we have the coquette aesthetic. To me, this whole aesthetic is very romantic, a little bit vintage. You have very soft laces, bows, ruffles, pink, florals, and everything looks a little bit vintage, kind of like those cute little heart vintage cakes. That's coquette. But I think the celebrity that most represents this coquette look is Lana Del Rey, and so I kind of channeled her look with this lace top from Reformation, bow in a hair, soft curls, winged eyeliner. I made the effort. But let's get into the more important part of this aesthetic, where I found these bow croissants that just screams coquette. coquette in pastry form. It's literally a giant beau croissant that's filled with jam and pastry cream, and it looks so delicate. So I'm gonna try to make it. I'm not a bakery baker, so I'm gonna try to do this with puff pastry, and I hope we can get the same look and feel of this. Okay, so I have my puff pastry. I'm gonna roll it out. It's easier if you buy the ones that's already folded, because then there's no measurements required. But from the looks of these croissant bows, they all have little ridges, so before I cut into it, I gotta create those little lines. Little shallow cuts across. It's that tiny little detail I noticed when they folded the croissant dough over. I am not able to do this in a straight line, unfortunately. There's little squiggles in here. Now we're gonna cut this into thirds using the scientific method of my finger. That works. Now we gotta do some origami bow making action. She starts by taking a strip of the puff pastry or croissant dough, folds in the top half into 2 triangles like this, kind of like a paper airplane. Do it to both ends, and now she folds it into the middle, meet it evenly. Ooh, cute, cute, cute. I almost got it. Now I need to fold these sides in and press them together like that. It's already looking like a bow, a lopsided bow. And I need a shorter strip, so we pinch it all together and then we flip it over, taking this strip, and let's wrap it around. So far so good. It's looking pretty perfect, but will it puff up like the bow croissant here? I think I have enough to make one more. Okay, I'm gonna place my bows onto a baking sheet. I guess all that's left to do is pop it into the oven. So halfway through, to get it like nice and shiny, I think they put some kind of egg wash or syrup on it to get it nice and brown. I'm probably gonna pull it out halfway and give it a nice wash. The thing about Pinterest is that everything looks so good, but sometimes it's so hard to find the recipe for it. Plus, there's no fun comments to read. These are so cute! Oh my goodness! They are almost perfect, honestly. This one looks good, this one looks good. This one looks a little sad, but it was supposed to be a mini bow, so that's okay. But now I need to let it cool completely before we fill them. Literally so impressed. Okay, these have completely cooled, so now we have to fill them with some pastry cream and some jam. From the back, it looks like they already poked a hole through, so I need to do that. I'm just gonna use the tip of this pipe. Hopefully I don't break it. It's very delicate. This is not a good idea. Maybe a knife. I don't want it to break, but this is the best I can do. They start with the cream. Man, this pipe is just so big. I'm gonna start with the jam, actually. Maybe we're just gonna have a jam-filled croissant. This part is way harder than it looks, but that helped me create a hole inside, so maybe now I can fill it up with the cream. Oh yeah, that's expanding. It's leaking. You are not coquette. You are a mess. Let's flip it over, because the last step is to add a dollop of the cream right in the middle, and then it looks like they add some crushed freeze-dried strawberries right on top. And here's their coquette beau croissant versus mine. I tried. And then final step, she cuts into it in half to reveal the creamy, jammy center. I feel bad doing this. It's so perfect. Ta-da! It's more jammy than it is creamy, but you know what? I'll take it. Let's see how it tastes. That's really good. This beau croissant is as good as it looks, and honestly, I would say it was pretty easy to make. And I think this recipe deserves a 9 out of 10, but I definitely don't feel like coquette is my vibe. And now we have the clean girl aesthetic, who's mostly represented by, I would say, Hailey Bieber or Sophia Richie. But this aesthetic is all about wellness and balance. Think of calm mornings, whole foods, and doing everything with intention. This is the girl that seems like she has her whole entire life together, or at least she seems like it on Pinterest. Here's my clean girl look: straight hair, minimal makeup, jewelry, and a very just classic top. And we're gonna be making this healthy, aesthetic, and balanced breakfast plate. This aesthetic breakfast plate starts off with an avocado rose, of course. So I'm gonna cut my avocado in half. This would not pass the clean girl aesthetic. I'll be making guac with that, but let's try again. Yay! Good enough for me. But now let's peel the avocado perfectly. Somehow I feel like the clean girl aesthetic strives for perfection. I'm trying to make it as evenly sliced as I can, and it's kind of hard. Fan it out to be like a long caterpillar. I don't know, but it's a little hard to get it evenly spaced because they kind of clump together. And now we fold it in. Let's whip this tail over. Haha! And there is our simple and clean avocado rose. Not bad, not great, not bad. Okay, and now she makes something called a scromlet, which looks like the egg version of an avocado rose. And I am telling you, I am so nervous about making this, but let's look at her quick tutorial because this looks hard. Okay, so basically we add 2 scrambled eggs into a pan with butter, and then she pulls it down sideways, moves it up, swishes it around, and curls the tail around. Now that's a clean and minimal scrambled egg. And speaking of clean and minimal, I've been wearing these pieces from Holzkern and they fit this whole vibe perfectly. Holzkern is a watch and jewelry brand for both men and women. Okay, I'm gonna crack my 2 eggs. Each piece is made from natural materials, so no 2 are exactly the same. Each one has its own pattern and story. Kind of like the scromlet, I guess. Hers is gonna look different than mine. I love that the pieces feel so calm, minimal, and timeless. And if you haven't noticed, I've worn them for every aesthetic that I've tested so far. They go with kind of everything. Each piece is crafted sustainably in small batches and they come with a 2-year guarantee. Holzkern ships worldwide from Vienna, so if you're in the US, customs are already covered. There's no surprises or extra fees once your package arrives. And right now, Holzkern is having their biggest sale of the year, up to 30% off until December 1st. You can click the link in the description box or my pinned comment to save while everything lasts because it's only available for a limited time. Thank you to Holzkern for sponsoring this part of the video. So now let's try to make our scromlet. I gotta add some butter and let it melt. The way I've watched this tutorial at least 100 times at this point. But here goes. Let me get it all around. Okay, and we're gonna do our first scrape down. And then I think she pushes it up. What about this side? No, I'm gonna tuck. Oh gosh, it's too hot. Okay, hold on. Okay, gotta make it a little bit smaller. Tuck and roll. Oh, why are you sticking out? And that is my first and maybe only attempt at a scromlet. It kind of looks like a rose a little bit. That was way more stressful than it needed to be to make an egg. Let's build our plate. We always start with some whole grain bread. She did a whole grain bagel, but I'm gonna just add some cream cheese on my slice of bread. And now she folds the egg rose on top of it. How do you even do that? Oh man. Mine's breaking. Let's add a little bit of salt, pepper, and some greens on top. Almost perfectly perfect. And now we lay down that avocado rose that we built earlier. Then to fill up the plate, she adds berries. I have strawberries, blueberries, and I'm gonna cut a little bit of this mango. Must arrange it aesthetically. This corner here feels sparse, and they always have to look super balanced and aesthetic, so I think I need to add some greens here. Got arugula. I don't know if that made it look good or bad, but the clean girl almost always enjoys her balanced breakfast with an iced coffee or iced matcha. I need to try this scromlet. Does it taste any different than a regular omelet? This feels really beautiful and aesthetic, but I don't know if the clean girl aesthetic is for me. I feel like I'm a little bit too chaotic, but this breakfast was beautiful, healthy, and balanced, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I should have went for the matcha. So moving on to our next aesthetic, it is the preppy aesthetic. But the thing is, when I think of preppy, I used to think of Blair Waldorf. Collared shirts, jackets, blazers, plaid skirts, and like those really stiff headbands. Very East Coast, very put together, very serious. Except today, preppy means something completely different. It's fun, it's playful, there's lots of pinks, and bows and cardigans, very Love Shack fancy, very Stanleys. I don't really know how to describe it. Apparently, Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter represent the whole preppy vibe. And I don't know if I did the whole preppy vibe right, but this is my look, kind of polished yet still playful. Did I nail it? I don't know. But what I do know is that this cotton candy matcha is totally preppy. So let's make it. For this cotton candy matcha, we're actually making real cotton candy because, you know, preppy is also a little extra. So let's warm this up, and then I'm gonna add a tablespoon of our pink vanilla sugar. It's already starting. Oh yeah. Spider web. I think we're ready to cotton our candy. If you're wondering why it's looking more yellow than pink, apparently I have leftover cotton candy powder in there that I didn't take out. Now we're talking. Look at this, look at this. This is so pretty, so preppy. And here we have our cotton candy. Now, we gotta make our matcha. Okay, got my matcha station, and this Rocky's matcha is my new latest favorite. It'll give us that bright green, vibrant matcha we're looking for. Look at that froth on top. Yes. So beautiful. Perfect. Let's put our cotton candy together with our matcha. We're gonna start by adding a nice generous portion of this cotton candy right into the cup. It makes me so sad to tear this apart, but it'll be worth it. And then we pour our milk right on top to melt it. Oh, look at that melt. Although it didn't make my milk as pink as I'd hoped. Not to worry, I have insurance. Cotton candy flavoring. Make it extra cotton candy-ish. Yes, that's the preppy pink I'm looking for. Now I gotta add some ice to our milk. And then I'm gonna carefully layer our matcha with extra foam. Could this be the new strawberry matcha latte? Now the only thing left for me to do is to top it with more fluffy cotton candy. And if that's not a preppy drink, I don't know what is. I need to take a selfie. Goodbye, cotton candy. It was way prettier before I stirred it. Oh my gosh. That is so good. It's like sweet, but not like super sweet. It tastes like cotton candy, literally. And this might be my new favorite way to make matcha. 10 out of 10. But is preppy really my vibe? And now we have the latest aesthetic craze of the season. It's the Ralph Lauren Christmas aesthetic, where you have a lot of tartan plaids, velvets, a big cozy fire, like you're spending the holidays at some fancy country house. I feel like this is the old school preppy that got a rebrand, and it's very Kate Middleton. It's very classic, not very trendy, but completely timeless. And for the food, I just so happened to stumble upon this shortbread cookie that looks exactly like the Ralph Lauren bear. So let's go ahead and make it. For this recipe, I'm gonna need my mixer. And now that I think of it, this would have been perfect in red or navy blue, but this is what we got. But I'm gonna start by adding 2 sticks of butter and beat it until it's nice and pale. Then we're gonna add some powdered sugar, mix it till it's nice and fluffy, and we're gonna add in our egg yolk, vanilla, and now we're gonna add in our dry ingredients, where I have some flour, cornstarch to make it nice and tender, and some salt. Now let's mix it up again. Okay, now I gotta transfer the cookie dough into a piping bag. I feel like this is looking a little too soft, but then again, I do have to pipe it, so maybe it's gonna be okay. Let's pull this up. This cookie batter is thick. And now comes the fun part. Cameraman was able to print out the little bear from the video for me. I don't know how he did that, but he did it. So I'm gonna put a piece of parchment paper right on top, and we're gonna trace it with the batter the same way the video did. Okay, so she starts with the ears first, making like a little shell going down. Then we're gonna do the face, a circle in between, and then a dot in the center. The body is slightly easier. Okay. A squiggle for the hand, and little dots for the legs. Not bad for a first try. Let me do the other one real quick. Maybe it'll be better. Not bad. I feel like the first one was still better. Now she pipes in an apple, and I was thinking, since we're going for the Ralph Lauren bear, I'm gonna give him a scarf. It's looking more like a bow than a scarf. I feel like that's good enough. But now I've seen so many TikToks where people try to bake a bear cookie and it just comes out into a big pile of mush. So to prevent that, I'm gonna stick this in the freezer for a few minutes, and then we're gonna bake them off. And our beer is done! To be honest, it did spread and mush out a little bit, and the ridges that I piped on aren't as sharp as the one in the Pinterest video, but for first try, I think it looks pretty good. I think it just needed to chill a little bit longer in the freezer, but I'm gonna let them cool completely before I put a face on our bears. Now let's put a smile on that face. I'm using this black writing icing. I'm just gonna make 2 little beady eyes, a dot on the nose here, maybe more of like a line. So cute! The only thing left to do to make this even more Ralph Lauren is to add more plaid all around. I'd say the bear looks pretty close. Yeah? Super cute. But does he actually taste good? Let's find out. I'm sorry, bear. He's very soft and tender and a little bit crunchy on the outside. Very polished, very delightful, very demure. And while I really love the Ralph Lauren aesthetic, I feel like it's best reserved for Christmas. So I don't think I'm a Ralph Lauren Christmas aesthetic. But the bear definitely gets 9 out of 10. And after testing all of the perfect Pinterest aesthetics, I realized something. None of them can define who we are. I'm a little cottagecore, a little Y2K, a little preppy, and just a smidge coquette. A whole mix of everything I love. And honestly, that's what makes us all special. We're not meant to fit one aesthetic, we're meant to be our own. But let's give this a try. Oh my gosh. That was so good. A definite 10 out of 10. But don't forget to check out Holzcurrent's Black Friday deals. And if you guys like this video, go watch me test TikTok's most trending desserts. Bye.